Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. My name is Foster. I'm an English teacher sometimes, podcaster sometimes, other things at other times. I'm here with.
Alexia, and I am the guinea pig of the situation here.
So, how you doing, Alexia?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing great. So, this week on the show, we are continuing our conversation about the fact that Alexia and I are getting a little bit older. We are turning 30 years old next month. At least I am. Alexia is in 2 months.
Yes.
So we
accept birthday presents. So
yes, we accept birthday presents in the form of
money,
PayPal, or any way that you want to send money online. Okay, just kidding. But we have been talking about this article from Entrepreneur Magazine titled 29 Things You Must Do Before You're 30. And we're just talking about some of the items on the list, having fun with it. So today, Alexia, we put some of the items that had to do with travel all into one group. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with moving to some place entirely new.
Ooh, I like this one.
That's good.
So the advice here is at some point before you turn 30 years old, you should move to an entirely new place. That means, the way I understand it, that means live in a foreign country for a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, it doesn't. 1 month is not a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, I would say at least 6 months, preferably more than a year.
How do I say
substantial?
Substantial.
Yeah, the first sound is the schwa sound, o som do schwa, aquele som bem, bem relaxado em português. Substantial.
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 Almost. Okay.
Substantial.
There we go.
Okay.
Great. So what do you think about this idea, Alexia? You have moved to different places. You have lived in Brazil, Portugal, the U.S. Do you agree with this?
I don't agree with that. I think that I just moved to an entirely new place right now. This is the first time that I'm really moving and staying there.
Okay, but you have spent substantial amounts of time in different countries, and would you agree that that is a positive thing that most people should experience if they can?
Yes, because of course, if you can, we are not saying here that you must do it. No, only if you can. It's very important. The first point is to getting more mature about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Or you could simply say maturing.
And you're going to learn so much about the other culture, about the other language, about everything.
You think it's important to learn about other cultures and languages?
Yeah, because of course I was raised in Brazil, which has a different culture of the United States, for example.
A different culture than the United States.
Than the United States. And it's very important when you go to the south of the United States and understand how people think and why they think that way and why they do this different things that Brazilians in Rio, they don't do it. So, yeah, it opens your mind and you can understand better what's going on.
Yeah, I think the real benefit is, I think there are two big benefits from moving to an entirely new place, living in a different country for a substantial amount of time. Number one, like you said, is you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to mature. You're going to learn what you are capable of. You are going to learn that you are stronger than you ever imagined.
And you're going to set limits as well. This is, for me, is the most important part. You're going to set limits. You will know what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, you'll know what you're good at, what you're not good at. Yeah, there's no joking around when you're by yourself in a new country. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Number two, I think it is almost impossible to truly know the place that you are from until you have really experienced another place in a deep, profound way. It's kind of like that old cliche, like, if you really love something, let it go. And if it comes back, it's kind of that vibe to me.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say that because the first time that I went to the United States, for example, for 3 months, and I had to tell a lot of Brazil to people. And it was so important.
You had to talk about Brazil a lot.
Yeah, I had to talk about Brazil a lot. And this was so important because there were questions that I never thought about it. And it was so good for me to understand why we did a thing that way and why we think about it in another way. And it was good.
Yeah, it makes you think more analytically and more creatively about your own culture.
Yeah.
In my case, I've always I love the southeast of the United States, but I've always kind of wanted to leave. And only from travel and spending time in the South with Alexia, I've really come to appreciate the South in a totally new and positive way.
We are welcome.
Thank you. Okay, number 2 on the list is enjoy the outdoors. So this really tells us what day and age we are living in, that before you're 30, go outside. What do you think about this one, Alexia?
I think this should be for any age. You don't have to, if you're 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, go outside, go explore. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is a must do for everyone.
Yeah, but as we are approaching our 30s, honestly, this was one of the most important points on the list for me. I think because as a child, as a teenager in my 20s, I've always loved the outdoors. I love spending time outdoors. And I realize as I'm getting older, I'm spending less and less time outdoors and more time in front of a computer screen. So I don't think it's like this crazy experience you need to go to the Grand Canyon, but it's a friendly reminder. Yeah, go outside. Outside is good. Trees are good.
Yes, but also I disagree with you because I think it's a phase of our lives right now that we are having to work much more than we used to. And when you were in college, for example, your college, your university was is in a place that it's amazing to hike, to go outside, to walk. And
in terms of nature, yes, it's very naturally beautiful.
And I didn't have that, for example.
Yeah.
So I think it depends.
I would say it's not a phase though, because in college, first, we didn't have cell phones. So literally, it's like if you want to go hang out with your friends, you have to walk outdoors, walk to their house, and you're like, hey, what are you doing? You want to go outside and walk around? So I don't know if I agree with you that it's a phase, but I think it's a great, friendly reminder.
No, that's for sure. We agree with that.
Just going outside, getting some fresh air, that's something all 20-somethings should do more of.
Yeah.
Okay, and the final point today is get lost.
I don't understand if it's like you should get lost with yourself because you're going to find your way back, or like you are hiking and you get lost and you had to call the police or the firefighters. I
think a little bit of both. From what I understood in the article, it's like you should physically get lost.
I don't like that. Why? And then I had to call the firefighters like, hey, I'm lost. I don't know how long and will take for me to go back. And there are a lot of snakes and bears or whatever. And
yeah. So a couple of things, Alexia. First, if you're lost, firefighters are probably not the first people you should call. First,
I'll always call a firefighter.
Alexia just is looking for any reason to call firefighters. She loves firefighters.
They're our heroes.
I think this point is a little bit out of date because of GPS, but I do think there is something special to say, Like, I don't know, you're in a small town, you have no idea where you are. And I'm just remembering one experience I had in university. I was driving home with my roommate at the time. Hey, John. And I fell asleep. This was before iPhone, so no GPS. I know how to get home. I assumed John knows how to drive home. And I woke up and I was like, hey, John, where are we? He's like, I'm not really sure, but we need to get some gas. I was like, okay, let's get some gas. I'll find out where we are. And I talked to the lady at the gas station, and she was like, do you know exactly where we are? She's like, you're in Springfield. I was like, Springfield? She's like, Springfield, Virginia? It's like, John, are we in Virginia? She's like, yes, ma'am, you are. Yes, sir, you are. And at the time, that was a horrible experience because a 4-hour car ride lasted like 12 hours. And there was no point for us going to Virginia.
I imagine your mom freaking out about it.
Everyone was freaking out, including myself, but it created a great memory.
Yes, I don't like that. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit of a controller, and I like...
Yeah, in English we say a control freak.
Yes, no, but I'm not freak.
Oh, you want a positive control. Okay.
I was talking about this with my therapist this Monday, and I'm not a control freak, but I like to know where I'm going, when I'm going.
You're very organized.
Yes, so I don't know. This I would have a lot of trouble doing. But if you are in a new city and exploring and you don't want to use your Google Maps or things like that, I'm fine with that. I have no problem.
Yeah, I totally agree. So to wrap things up today, everything's about travel, moving to a new country, enjoying the outdoors, and getting lost. I think these are all things about focusing on experiences. Sometimes you have to do something because it's going to be a good story. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do in the moment, but in the future, you'll look back and say, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's what your 20s is all about.
That's very true.
Maybe. We will find out when we turn 30 in just 1 month.
2 months?
Anyways, these two old podcast hosts will be back in your earphones tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.